a dog.
Blah, 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 blah.
Ha blah 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 blah. I don't want you to swallow. I don't want you to be caught off guard. We in.
Yes, we are.
We back.
Yeah.
What's
We back.
up? Hey everybody. Welcome to the Chris and Kyle show. He's Chris.
Yep.
And I'm Kyle. Yup. Yup. We have been off for a while, but we are back now. And we are going to do a belated favorite things of 2019 episode.
Mm-hmm. Should we tell the people about our hiatus?
Tell them. Tell the people.
Well, okay, so we just had a lot of stuff going on as far as holiday season. And we were a little bit like we wanted to reformat the podcast a little bit in a way.
We had to rekindle the flame of our relationship.
Yeah, exactly. Me and Kyle had to take times to ourselves, and
then we had to go like on a romantic getaway together. Really find our center.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and really rediscover who we are.
What really happened was we just
individually and together.
What really happened is we just both happened to like go out of town at different times, and then just sat on our couches a lot.
Yeah, a lot of that.
Anyway, we're back now, and
what you guys can expect going forward.
Yeah, we're gonna do a little bit less of the long form scattershot stuff, just because it's sometimes just kind of useless to come up with random nonsense to talk about if it's not something that you have real thoughts and ideas about. So we're just gonna do a lot more spoiler episodes, and then when there are good topics to give a long form discussion, we're gonna do that. We'll probably do one like around the NBA playoffs. Mm-hmm. We'll talk about NBA award season and stuff like that, and yeah.
And we'll try to keep up and do more guest episodes as well this coming 2020.
Yeah.
But 2020, not what we're talking about today. We're talking about 2019.
The 2-month late 2019 in review episode.
No, you needed like all of that time so that you could appropriately review 2019.
Well, honestly, I was able to catch up on a few things that I missed, and a couple made my list, or one made my list.
Exactly. That's why
that's
why the Oscars happened in February.
Yeah, that's kind of true.
Yeah.
I tweeted out like the end of December my top 10 movies and TV shows of the year, and my movie list has now changed. Mm-hmm. 2 have come off and 2 have gone on.
Okay.
And
fair.
One of those will be in this episode. So what we're going to do is we're both going to bring our 5 favorite things from film and television, and we're going to reminisce about them, and we're going to talk about them, and we're going to make fun of each other if we pick a bad one. Are you hiding your list from me?
Yes, I am.
You don't want me to cheat? This isn't a test.
How much crossover do you think we're going to have here?
I think we might have like maybe 2. I'm gonna say over under 2 point. If you set the over under at 2.5, I would take the under. Does that make sense?
Okay. I agree. I think we should probably
Although I do think I could guess what your number 1 is pretty confidently.
Oh yeah, I think that's going to be pretty easy.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be pretty easy. But yeah, we're going to go through the top 5 movies, TV shows from 2019, and we're going to do honorable mentions as well.
Yeah.
I'm really excited. Let's just fucking dive right into it.
Do you want to do your 5th one first or my 5th? We're going to go 5-1, right?
Yes.
That seems way more climactic.
Yeah, way cooler. So my number 5 is a pretty interesting one.
Okay.
And it's the one that I told you where I sort of combined a film and I combined a TV show.
Can I guess it? Because I think I might know.
Go ahead.
I think it's Stranger Things and It Too.
No, it's not.
Dang it.
Nice. I was worried that you would have guessed it. Mine's actually a little bit weirder than that.
Okay.
Not weirder in like as far as like subject matter, but like weirder like. Okay, so my number 5 is a combination of the short film Hair Love.
Oh, okay.
And an episode from Mixed-ish. And I'm sort of like throwing in Mixed-ish.
You did talk to me about this before.
Yeah, I'm sort of throwing in Mixed-ish here. If Hair Love didn't exist,
Mixed-ish of the famed Ish television universe.
Exactly.
Blackish, Mixed-ish. There's one more. Youngish or something like that. There's one where one of them goes to college. I know that.
Grownish?
Grownish, not youngish, grownish.
Yeah.
Wrong age variant.
Mm-hmm. Now, if Hair Love, the short film, did not exist, I don't think that
the episode of Mixed-ish would have hit you as well?
That I would
Ranked as high?
have Mixed-ish in my top 5.
Okay.
But the short film Hair Love, which won the animated short film
At the Oscars.
this year, you watched it, right?
I have not seen it, no.
You have not seen it.
Not yet.
Damn, I was like really like pushing for you to watch it because it was written and directed by a former NFL player.
NFL player, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Who, dude, shot his shot, Babe Ruth style. He said he was going to win an Oscar like 6 years ago.
Really?
It's on Twitter, dude. He's got the receipts.
That's fucking sick.
It's awesome.
So the person that we're referring to right now is Matthew A. Cherry.
Yep.
I've never heard of this person.
He wasn't an NFL player of consequence.
Right.
He was probably like a practice squad or cut very early in his career kind of guy.
Okay, so this short film, Hair Love, is basically about a father trying to do his daughter's hair for the first time. And
importantly, an African American father
Yes.
and daughter.
yes. For most white people out there that have never had to deal with like black people's hair, this is something that like I learned about through an episode of Mixed-ish. Like I didn't understand like the complications of like how different African American people's hair are and the different kinds of things that you have to do and the different kinds of oppression that came with them not being able to
Dude,
wear
it's
their
still
natural hair.
happening. Matthew A. Cherry and one of his, I think, producers on this short film brought a high school kid with them to the Oscars who was being, I think, suspended from school or something like that because of his hair.
Yeah.
Because he had dreadlocks.
Exactly. And like even in really progressive college campuses, I'm pretty sure USC, I don't want to fucking completely speculate here, but like they had rules stating that like you couldn't wear dreadlocks and shit like that and cornrows. And like on a college campus, which should be like a really progressive.
Yeah.
But anyways, there's a lot of socio-political things that go into this kind of issue. And there's a lot of great things as far as representation that Hair Love is able to bring to a table. And I wanted to address it because it's an animated short that not a lot of people are going to go out of their way
And you
to
can find
see.
it for free, right?
It's incredibly accessible. You can go online and watch it on YouTube.
Yeah. That's awesome. All of the
now,
shorts should be like that.
Aside from all of this socio-political shit, I am an absolute sucker for like a father like doing his best to try and like take care of his daughter.
Dude,
and like
when I am
not
at, when
doing a
I am
very
at
good
work
job.
and I get a table that's like just a dad with his kid,
Oh.
I'm so fucking nice to them.
Oh,
I'm
God.
like, this is the shit right here.
There is just like it fucking hits me like the sort of like them just not like doing their best and
Yeah.
not doing a very good job. And this short film is just like chock full of it. It's a 7-minute short, and within those 7 minutes, I was absolutely bawling. Anything that can get me as emotionally engaged as that, I'm
Now,
gonna have it on my top 5.
Can
this year,
you
know?
can you connect to me why you are throwing in the Mixed-ish episode as well?
So I'm throwing in the Mixed episode as well because it's what introduced me to it, and like it just thematically
To the
fits.
short or to the idea
So
about
there was
hair?
an entire episode of Mixed-ish that was completely about like hair.
Yeah.
And it was a lot of kind of the same things. Like you have a white father trying to take care of his mixed daughter's hair and failing
Yeah.
miserably. So I just figured it lined up, and it would have been in my honorable mentions anyways. Mixed-ish would have. But Hair Love was just so fucking good. And the fact that you can like just the tears per minute
Yeah.
on Hair
The
Love.
TPM rate, dude, it's crazy.
That had to be so fucking high because by the end of that 7 minutes, I was just completely bawling.
Yeah.
I loved it. So yeah, that's my number 5 of 2019.
You're trying to tell me that like
Written and directed by Matthew A. Cherry.
you're trying to tell me that the growing rate of diverse creators in Hollywood is helping you learn about people that are different from you and empathize with them?
Yeah, I know. Right?
God,
That's
who cares about
weird.
diversity, dude?
Who cares about representation?
Ugh, that's awesome.
But regardless of that, it was a fucking really emotionally connected with me, and I think that's why I'm gonna put it at 5.
Cool. My number 5 is the first in a string of me combining things for the sake of getting more than 5 things on this list.
I'm ready for your completely whack.
This isn't the whack.
justifications.
This one isn't the whack one. The next one will be the wackest one. This is just the year of Brad Pitt, Ad Astra, and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Okay.
That's my number 5.
All right.
Those two combined.
Yeah.
I think I was way higher on Ad Astra than most people. I really enjoyed Ad Astra.
yeah.
I thought Brad was fucking awesome in it.
Yeah.
The eye acting. So much eye acting. But Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, I loved, and it was one of those movies that the more I think about it, back to it, and the more I hear other people talk about it, the more I remember things just really fondly in scenes where I'm like, man, that scene was so good, and that scene, and there's just so many scenes from that movie that are so good.
Mm-hmm.
Brad specifically, I remember like the ranch scene, the scene at the ranch, and the end scene,
So
of
tense.
course, the
Like-
ending scene, of course, when he's high on that cigarette and the Manson family shows up at the house and he goes nuts with his dog, and
It wasn't just a
Leo
regular
gets a
cigarette,
flamethrower. Well, it was laced with like acid or something.
Yeah.
Very funny movie.
Yeah. There's going to be like a lot of things on here that I'm excited for your list because it's going to remind me of great movies. And I completely forgot about Ad Astra and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. It wouldn't have changed my.
I'm not surprised you forgot Ad Astra, but I'm a little surprised you forgot Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Yeah.
Really?
I mean, it's a Quentin
I like
Tarantino
them
movie.
both.
It was a front runner for Best Picture.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, obviously Parasite had a surprising win in terms of like odds makers and stuff like that.
I enjoyed them both. I think that with time, Ad Astra is something that like I could revisit, and then like it could end up becoming like
Something you really love.
Yeah, something like it could slide into my top 5 as far as things that I remember from this year.
I think the only thing holding Ad Astra back from something like that and from a more popular run is just how slow it is. I think that's the only thing really holding him. I enjoyed the pace of it. I thought it was a beautiful movie. I thought Brad Pitt was awesome in it.
Right.
There's some really scary. The scene with the monkey in space,
Oh, right.
scary.
Yeah.
Scary. The pirates on the moon, very cool scene. But yeah, I thought this was a big year for Brad Pitt. He won Best Supporting Actor for his role in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. The Bruce Lee scene, so good.
I'm gonna make sure that everything's running right here.
Oh, are you paranoid about the phone not working?
long.
But yeah, my number 5 is going to be the year of Brad Pitt.
I dig it.
Yeah,
It's a solid 5.
I know. I mean, he's a 10, but we're on a scale of 1 to 5, so you know.
Right. So he's a 6 out of 5.
Yeah, that's true.
All right. So
What's your 4?
moving on to my number 4. I'm not sure if this is gonna be a crossover or not. I don't think so, but I think you like it. True Detective season 3.
I did like it.
True Detective season 3.
I did like it.
A return to form for True Detective.
That's not even on my 10 TV shows list.
Really?
I think I might have forgotten that it came out this year. It feels so long ago. I'm looking at my list of TV shows right now and wondering if I would take something off for it. I don't think I would, but
Yeah.
I'd have to think about it a lot
Came
more.
out at the first episode was released January 2019.
Yeah.
So, a return to form for True Detective, as we both
After
sort
a
of
rough season 2.
didn't really like season 2, and I think it's pretty well documented on the Chris and Kyle show that True Detective season
yeah, we
1
did, like,
one
3
of
episodes on
my
True Detective.
favorite shows of all time.
Mahershala is.
Mahershala,
balling
as
in
well
this-
as
in this
Stephen
show.
Dorff.
Is that the partner?
Yes.
Yeah, he's great.
Mm-hmm.
Have you noticed that he's been typecast since then? He's in another
He's in a
TV
lot of-
show
he's in a
now
lot
where
of
he
cop
plays a
stuff.
cop in like
Yeah.
a sort of like southern town.
They just brought in a lot of like really good directors for season 3. I loved all of the performances. The writing was much better this time around. Shout out to Nick Pizzolatto.
He's the creator, right?
He's the creator of True Detective, and he
Who was the
hit it
who was the
again with,
director
season
from
3.
season 1 that left the show?
Cary Joji Fukunaga,
Cary Joji Fukunaga. That's right.
Mhm. Who's about to release James Bond.
Yeah,
James Bond.
that's pretty cool.
Mhm.
All right. Now is my ridiculous one.
I'm
I
prepared.
just
I'm ready.
I just wanted an excuse for both of these movies to be on my list because I love them so much.
I told you that you could do like a 5A and a 5B.
No, it sounds like cheating.
like there's no
I need
podcast
to,
police that are gonna come and
I have
take
a
you
personal rule that I need to come up with some bullshit title that fits them together. And the bullshit title I've come up with is wartime adjacent stories. Period pieces. Wartime adjacent period pieces. Jojo Rabbit and Little Women.
away. Okay, all right.
Jojo Rabbit,
Still
World War II
haven't seen
adjacent.
Little Women.
Civil War adjacent. That is my bullshit categorization for including
Fair.
both of these on my list.
I have Jojo Rabbit on my honorable mentions, and it was one of those bubble movies where I'm like, fuck,
Yeah.
like this might not age well. You know what I mean? Like I might, because I really fucking.
It's
liked
so good,
Jojo
dude.
Rabbit.
It's so
And
good. Scarlett Johansson with the rare double actress nominee combo year. She was nominated for Best Supporting Actress for Jojo Rabbit and Best Actress for Marriage Story.
Oh god damn it, Marriage Story.
You forgot Marriage Story?
Oh, I forgot Marriage Story.
Uh-oh.
I'm
It's
not
real
sure.
good. Oh, you might have to change on the fly. Get ready.
No, well,
So, I mean, like, you could have also said the year of Scarlett Johansson and thrown Marriage Story in somehow. Except she's not in Little Women. But anyway, yeah, you haven't seen Little Women. It's so good, dude.
Yeah.
It's so fucking good. Greta Gerwig is dope.
see, I think the problem with it is that there's no one involved with either cast or crew that I am a fan of. So
Yeah, like, who cares about Greta Gerwig or the Pew Pew Train Florence Pugh
Yeah.
or Saoirse?
Saoirse.
I'm going to be nominated for an Oscar every time I'm in a movie, Ronin, a.k.a. young Meryl Streep.
Timothée Chalamet.
Timothée
Timothée Chalamet.
Timothy Chalamet, Emma Watson. Like, who cares? Emma Watson, good in the movie.
What has she
Get
been
out of here!
in-
Get out of here, internet haters! You know how remember when the trailer came out and everyone was like, Emma Watson's American accent is terrible. She sounds British. Remember that? Mm-hmm. You know what that scene is?
What is it?
She's pretending to be British. Fuck off, internet homies. Emma Watson is good in that movie. They're all good. They're all great. Honestly, the cast is so good.
Right.
Timothy Chalamet, like, did we know who he was 2 years ago?
Did we
The
know?
world. Did the world know Timothy Chalamet 2 years ago? Or was it
Interstellar?
so barely?
So you were interested.
That's a little more than 2 years ago, but he played young Casey Affleck, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Whoa, that's wild.
So you were definitely introduced to him. Like,
He's been on.
You were
a-
aware of him. But
He's been on a nuclear rise.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Like
yeah.
how he's like a darling of Hollywood now.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I just you saw it, Jojo Rabbit's so good.
Yeah.
It's so fucking good. Like, the feet. I think of the feet, and I want to cry.
Mm-hmm.
It just makes me so sad.
Right.
Anyway,
What was that? Your 4?
that was my 4.
That was your 4? All right. I'm moving on to 3 here.
Numero
I'm wondering
tres.
if this is going to be a crossover.
Okay.
Ford v Ferrari.
I took Ford v Ferrari off my top 10 list
Yeah.
to put Marriage Story on it.
That's quality. I do not blame you for that.
Yeah.
I love me some Marriage Story.
Yeah.
Now, Ford vs Ferrari, I was completely taken aback with it.
Like this movie way more than we expected.
Exactly.
Or you expected.
Exactly.
I was like, this movie looks like it's going to be good. And you were like, eh.
Yeah, I don't know. I just sort of expected it to. I don't know what's the word that I'm looking for. Be sort of like paint by numbers.
Yeah.
And it wasn't that at all. It was incredibly fun. The performances were incredible. Yeah, but
Damon and Bale out here being friends.
Ford versus Ferrari, directed by James Mangold, starring ya boys Matt Damon, and
Christian Bale.
Christian Bale.
Don't forget young
Christian
Noah
Bale's
Jupe,
Ken
dude.
Miles. Did you see my most this is like my one tweet per year? Did you see my tweet that I put out
Maybe?
it was right around All-Star break time?
Maybe?
Right.
What did you say?
I said that Aaron Gordon is the Ken Miles of dunking.
Meaning he dunks too much and then dies?
It means that everybody knows that he's the best.
Oh, okay.
But he got cheated.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. That makes sense.
Anyway, Ford vs Ferrari, just a really incredible movie. I think the one thing that probably surprised me the most was the level of humor.
Yeah, very funny
and
movie.
the personality. Like, I was weeping at the end. the levels of relationship, and it's such a good friendship movie.
Yeah,
I
it's
fucking
a
love
it's a
good
bromance
friendship.
movie. It's
Yeah.
a bromance movie,
I love
but it's
a
like
good
high
goddamn
tier bromance.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a high tier bromance movie, and yeah, loved it.
I got a little bump. There was a sort of so this was also nominated for Best Picture.
Mm-hmm.
It was one of those movies that got caught up in the. This just seems like another. Like people were comparing it to Green Book a lot.
Right.
In like its Oscar-ism. And I was like, I feel like it's, I don't know, there's quality to it that I really think is fun and unique, and it deserved to be up there. You know what I mean?
And it's just so dissimilar to Green Book, because Green Book is like sort of like touts itself as sort of a racially aware movie.
Yeah.
Which like a lot of and Green Book kind of has a lot of faults as far as like everything's from like a white male perspective.
That was a pretty weak
Ford
Oscar
versus
movie year.
Yeah,
when Green
Ford
Book
versus
won.
Ferrari, just like it doesn't have any sort of politics in it, like outside of like
Racing politics?
racing politics. Like there's no like real issues that it's trying to address.
It's just a movie about a cool story, like a real life event, a really sad one.
I would compare it more to like a movie like Brooklyn in that case.
I haven't
like,
seen Brooklyn.
But like a Brooklyn.
Saoirse Ronan again.
But so usually like the Oscars will have like a kind of cutesy movie that isn't very political.
Mm-hmm.
That's not trying to.
That's
like,
also not a war
address,
movie.
Right.
There's always a war movie.
Right. There's always one movie, but like usually like there's like smaller movies that they'll throw in there for like in the Best Picture contention that are just, they're not huge movies, but they're,
And you know they're not going to win.
yeah.
Yeah. It's just like a recognition thing.
I would say Ford versus Ferrari is like closer to that than it is to like a Green Book.
Yeah. My three?
Mm-hmm.
You ready for this combo? This combo makes way more sense. The Shia Sans.
Okay. This is a crossover.
Honey Boy, Peanut Butter Falcon.
Yep. Might as well get into it because Peanut Butter Falcon's my number 2.
Oh, hell yeah, dude.
Okay.
Wombo combo.
Yep.
Nice. So you haven't seen Honey Boy, right?
I have not.
I think Honey Boy is maybe better than Peanut Butter Falcon. I love Peanut Butter Falcon. Honey Boy is killer.
I could absolutely like understand how like Honey Boy, because it was directed,
Written by Shia.
written by Shia, directed by somebody else.
Alma Harrell, I think her name is.
Okay. Peanut Butter Falcon is not a perfect movie,
But it's so lovable, dude. It's so lovable.
and it hits home for me.
Yeah,
like it
yeah,
just hits
very
all
specifically for
of
you.
yes, very specifically for me. Like any kind of like brotherly
Yeah,
relationship
because
with someone that has
you're a dirty river walker.
exactly.
Yeah, so like you really
I
relate
have a
to Shia
beard
LaBeouf.
like Shia LaBeouf.
Yeah.
That's how
Yeah.
it, relates to me. But yeah, Peanut Butter Falcon is just something that's just so sweet, so wholesome, and just a very like they don't really go out on the limb too much. It's just kind of, but it's not paint by numbers. It's like still such a good fucking performance.
They don't go on a limb
between-
until the very last shot of the movie, and you're like, "What just happened?"
yeah, that's ridiculous.
Or not last shot of the movie, but that sort of climactic moment.
Yeah.
You're like, "Wait,
The
what just
third-
happened?"
The third act is, I think, where like a lot of things like sort of fall apart, and I think where a lot of people
I wouldn't say it
I wouldn't
falls
say fall
apart.
Fall apart is too harsh.
Yeah.
But where a lot of people might be disconnected with the movie, where they're just like, okay, that was
Yeah.
strange. It didn't bother me. The rest of the movie was so good that I really loved it.
I loved Peanut Butter Falcon. It's just, it's one of those movies where you watch and you just fall in love with the characters. And the reason I coin it Shia Sans is because of the comeback story of Shia LaBeouf this year. He was in basically the blacklist of Hollywood where people wouldn't work with him. And a movie like Peanut Butter Falcon is an example of that. Like that was filmed during one of his like lowest points when he was getting arrested and having a lot of troubles with drugs and alcohol, and he was still putting in a performance like that.
Right.
But then you watch a movie like Honey Boy, which he wrote, and plays a character that is inspired by his own father, and it's about his own life, and it's just so personal, and just like it's so like heart-wrenching watching that relationship. And Noah Jupe, dude, Noah Jupe is reaching Jacob Tremblay levels child actor.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
No, dude. Watch Honey Boy. He made Honey Boy, and he's in Ford vs Ferrari. A Quiet Place. The kid's a killer. He's also in Wonder with Jacob Tremblay. The kid's a killer.
Yeah.
All right? He's really, really good in this movie. There is one of the most heartbreaking scenes in any movie I've seen this year is a scene where Noah Jupe is in a room with Shia LaBeouf playing his father, and he's talking to his mother on the phone. And his mother and father just hate each other.
And this is from Honey Boy.
This is from Honey Boy. And his mom is like, tell your dad exactly what I say and how I say it. And she starts cussing out Shia LaBeouf through her child. And he's just mimicking their words to each other through the phone. And it's heartbreaking and so sad. And Noah Jupe is fucking murdering it. Oh, it's so good. And Shia is amazing.
Right.
And like, you can really tell there's a level of like therapy going on for Shia LaBeouf as a person when you see him do things, especially during Oscar season. He was in a lot of the actors on actors and actors roundtables kinds of things that like Variety always puts out. He was in a few of those, and I watched a bunch of them, and he is a super weird dude, but he's insanely interesting. He was on the actors roundtable, and he was so like bought into what everyone had to say, and he was so open to everyone's ideas and so encouraging of everyone's. Like, there was a point when Adam Sandler at that round table was like, I can't believe I'm sitting at a table with like these types of talents, and Shia LaBeouf was like, fuck that, like, you're the fucking king. like shit like that. And then he did like an actors on actors interview with Kristen Stewart, and there's a great comment on the YouTube video, and it was like, this feels like the embodiment of anxiety meeting the embodiment of depression, and I love it. And it's just like this super awkward conversation. I mean, have you ever seen Kristen Stewart do interviews?
Yeah.
She's like hardcore, like very, like she seems really uncomfortable in front of a camera,
Super
which is
anxious,
weird because she's a great actor.
Right.
But which people don't realize, Kristen Stewart's a really good actress.
Gets a lot of hate.
It's because of Twilight. But,
yeah.
Well, it's all the faces of Kristen Stewart memes, but it's like the biggest movies she's ever done, like biggest budget movies, are all very one-note characters.
Right.
Like that in like Snow White and the Huntsman.
Well, that and they like usually encourage you to not have that. Like, they don't encourage you to be Daniel Day-Lewis and have like a super method acting performance.
You need to be
when you're the main character of a tentpole series.
You need to be a blank slate that people can project themselves onto. Anyway, the Shia Assance, something I really enjoyed this year. I look forward to his future work.
Right. Yeah. So you, within the Shia Assance, that was your number 3, and you include both Peanut Butter Falcon as well as Honey Boy. Peanut Butter Falcon is my number 2.
Do you want to expand on it anymore?
No. I think that you said it pretty well.
Cool.
I would like to say shout out to Tyler Nilsson, Michael Swartz for directing.
Yes.
That written by
they got that movie made
them
cheap
as well.
too.
And
It's
I
like,
would like
isn't
to,
it their debut?
I'd like to shout out. Yes.
Yeah.
Pretty much. I'm pretty sure like he like sent Shia LaBeouf like a message on Instagram
Yeah,
or
he
something
did.
like that
He did.
of Zach.
Yeah. He's like, this
Zach
kid. They were like
sagging.
They were like, this kid is going to be a superstar.
Who is the titular Peanut Butter Falcon? Yeah, I would like to give a shout out to
what's
the
rule
rest
number
of the
1?
cast as well.
What's rule number 1?
Body. Dakota Johnson, Bruce Dern, Shia LaBeouf, Thomas Hayden Church. They all fucking.
Thomas Hayden Church is good as the retired wrestler.
And Yellow Wolf as fucking Rat Boy.
Weird Yellow Wolf showing.
John Hawkes has a really good cast.
That Yellow Wolf showing is similar. It reminds me of what's Machine Gun Kelly in Bird Box. It's just like, this dude is just in this movie.
Right.
It's just weirds me out.
Yeah, but like if you guys like Tom Sawyer or Rain Man and you want to see both of them come together,
I like that combo.
In one movie, go see Peanut Butter Falcon.
But
That's
like
what I would say.
Tom Sawyer without the racism.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, sure. I don't think there's any racism in Peanut Butter Falcon aside from
gonna
the fact that like all of them are white. There isn't really any. I don't think. Is there any black
The
people
blind
in-
guy.
Yeah. Anyways.
Oh, there's
So
one.
you can.
Yay.
There's one. We don't have to.
The Bechdel. What's the Bechdel test? But for
Racism.
racism, you need to have at least what's the Bechdel test? You need to have 2 female characters that have a scene with just them and they don't talk about a male, and that's
Right.
it.
Yeah.
And almost nothing ever passes it.
Right.
It's ridiculous. All right, my number 2 then, because Peanut Butter Falcon was your number 2.
Yes.
My number 2 is this year's MCU run, Spider-Man: Far From Home and Avengers: Endgame.
Okay. I'm
Come
glad
on.
that you.
Endgame is fucking
I
incredible.
figured that you were going to
Yeah.
include Spider-Man. That's why I bumped it
no,
out of my
no,
top
no.
5.
Endgame is better than Far From Home.
Right. But they're both good. But you're
Yeah.
still talking about
Yes, yes.
all of them in cohesion
Yes,
with each other.
yes.
Right.
Shout out Spider-Man the video game too.
Let's
Also,
not
also this year.
let's not talk shit about Far From Home either. Because
No. I
relatively-
love Far From Home.
Relatively, Endgame, yes, is better than
Yeah.
Far From Home, but Far From Home is a good movie.
Yeah, I love Far From Home.
Yeah.
It's got I think the scene when Peter gets hit by the train, when we first experienced the Mysterio powers.
Oh yeah.
That's one of the best MCU scenes I can think of. That seems
Yeah.
amazing. Jake Gyllenhaal is
You're talking about with all the hallucinatory shit.
yes,
like,
and then he's like pushing him back, and then it ends when he gets hit by the train.
oh yeah.
Yeah. Jake Gyllenhaal is great. I was so excited that Jake Gyllenhaal was going to be in an MCU movie, and I
Yeah.
was like, what is this going to be?
Mm-hmm.
Jake Gyllenhaal is one of my favorite actors in the world.
Right.
He's a freaking chameleon.
Right.
And then he was just like, I'm going to do this weird, like, egotistical asshole role, but he's also a super charismatic pretender, and it's just so good. I love it so much. Obviously, Tom Holland is the GOAT Spider-Man. Like, we can't. I think that's, at this point, it's over with that.
Far and away.
He's now had 4 showings, I think, right? Between Civil War.
And
No,
Endgame.
5. 2 of his own movies, Civil War, 2 Avengers movies. He's got 5 showings, and he kills it every time. He's so good.
Mm-hmm.
Damn. But Endgame is the real crown jewel, I think. Endgame is the culmination of, 27 movies of storytelling
Right.
over 8 years or 10 years or something
Yeah.
like that. And to stick the landing the way they did is like, I mean, go watch Game of Thrones and see how hard it is.
Yeah. It's tough.
It's tough. And it's not really an ending, but it's the end of an era, it feels like, because of the exit of a Chris Evans and a Robert Downey
I mean,
Jr.
it ends the way that you would want like a television series to end a season.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it ends in a way that you feel like the story is wrapped up, but there's more stories to be told.
Yeah.
And new stories, I think, most importantly, to be told.
Right.
Yeah. Endgame is fucking killer, man. That whole final, like, battle.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my God. Get out of here, dude.
Okay, so that's your numero 2.
Yep.
All right. The MCU
Yep.
for number 2. My number 1.
I know what it is.
All of 2019. Go ahead and guess.
It's
I mean,
Midsummer.
It's
definitely
Midsummer.
Midsummer.
It's Midsummer. Midsummer, written directed by Ari Aster. I don't even have to pull up the IMDb page. Starring Florence Pugh.
Pew Pew Train.
Uh,
I feel so validated.
that like
I
she's
was
blown
on
up.
top of that shit, dude.
Yeah.
I watched The Outlaw King, and I was like, she's
gonna
going to
be
be a
dope.
fucking superstar.
Yeah.
And within 6 months, I was
You're
right.
like Masai Ujiri picking out
Yep.
fucking Pascal
Yep.
Siakam from a crowd. That's what I think of when I think of Florence Pugh. I think of Pascal Siakam. Yeah, so Midsummer, written and directed by Ari Aster, starring Florence Pugh, Jack Rayner.
My
It's
boy,
just
dude,
fucking-
my boy. What's his name? From The Good Place.
What boy? I've never seen The Good Place, so I don't know who you're.
The black friend. With,
Oh, I don't know his. I don't know
he's got
his.
3 names. He's got 3 names. Whatever. that
William Jackson.
William Jackson Harper.
As well as Will Poulter.
Oh, yeah. Eyebrow Man.
Mm-hmm.
Eyebrow acting.
Yeah.
Shout out to Flowers.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to White Dresses. Shout out to Grassy Fields.
Right.
Shout out to Acid Trips. Really, really, I would say, well done, scary Acid Trips. Whew.
Midsummer is everything that I want in a movie. It's everything that I want. Like there's humor, incredible drama,
A really
great
fucked up
emotion,
sex scene.
like incredible symbolism and like thematic imagery, and just like it's one of those movies that you can watch fucking 10 times and still not pick up everything about it. Like, there's incredible performances, cinematography, the sound work, the score is so fucking good. The score is so good. I listen to this score all the fucking time, and there's one song from the score where they play the audio of Florence Pugh weeping.
Yeah. Oh, on the soundtrack.
I don't want to. This isn't a spoiler episode, so we can't.
I spoiled some stuff earlier. It's fine.
I mean, not really though.
I said that somebody died at the end of a movie.
Okay. Anyways, I'm not going to spoil Midsummer for you guys, but it's absolutely incredible. If you're into weird shit, if you like Rosemary's Baby and Wicker Man, like the original Wicker Man, like not the. If you find Nicolas Cage's performance like ironic and
wait,
funny,
is that the Bees movie?
This might not be for you, but what
is Wicker Man? Nicolas Cage's
the Bees?
The Bees?
Yeah, but that's the recent version of Wicker Man. If you like the original Wicker Man, a lot of culty horror movies like that, I fucking definitely recommend Midsummer. If you like Hereditary, obviously Ari Aster's first work, which I was that's how I was introduced to Ari Aster, was through Hereditary, and I fucking really loved a majority of that movie. I would say, like,
until the third act.
The third act, like. Once again, it's kind of like Peanut Butter
That's
Falcon. Where,
Anya
like,
Taylor-Joy, right?
It doesn't. Yes,
she's blowing up.
it doesn't fall apart. At least not for me. I could see where
Yeah.
a lot of people think that it falls apart, but
It's just not as good.
it doesn't. It doesn't keep the same pace.
Okay. But Toni Collette is out there killing the game in that movie.
I'll frame Midsummer in a way that Ari Aster himself
Or I'm thinking of Hereditary.
describes
sorry.
it. He basically tries to mimic the tragedy of a breakup and make it feel as palpable and as grandiose as a real life breakup feels when you're.
That's really
when you're
interesting.
Because that's essentially what he wants the movie.
Well,
to be.
because one of the things so this is one of those movies where I watch it and I'm like, that movie, unlike you, was not made for me. That's not the kind of stuff that I like to see in a movie. That's not my type of movie. Right. But I also sit there and I go, that was fucking good.
Right.
That was a good movie. It's just not up my lane.
Yeah.
Florence is amazing in it. But there is that sense at the end of the movie where I'm like, where you're like, burn it all down. And I'm like, she's a fucking psycho.
Oh, yeah.
But when you say that about his idea of wanting to capture the like real, the way you feel in a breakup and how important it feels and how big it feels, that really makes a lot of sense to me.
Yeah.
That's really interesting.
And I love... I love it when people can take something that's like really intangible like that, like something like a breakup, you know, and just trying to depict a breakup in a movie and trying to go one for one like that. It doesn't translate to an audience as much as I think something like this would. And he does it through the use of horror, the use of really like fucked up imagery and
Acid trips.
Yeah.
What a year from a girl.
Florence Pugh.
Killing the game.
It's just become a Florence Pugh episode.
That's every episode should be a Florence Pugh episode. She didn't get nominated for this movie. She did get nominated for Little Women.
Right. Yeah. This
but she could have been for this movie, honestly.
Midsummer.
Like when I looked at the best actress list, you could have put Florence Pugh on there for this movie and I would have been cool with it.
I loved her performance in this.
All right, I guessed your number one. Can you guess mine?
Shit.
I'm proud of us because we both have like female-driven number ones.
Do we?
Yep.
I
Like
didn't.
Florence Pugh is the lead of your movie.
I mean, I don't really care about Florence Pugh. I just care about Ari Aster. So
I'm gonna fight you.
Boom. Still a misogynist.
I hope someone watches this out of context.
They just see that.
They just see that sentence.
Yeah, get that drop, dude. Fuck. I don't know what your number one
Booksmart.
is. Booksmart.
Number one, my favorite movie of the year was Booksmart, directed by Olivia Wilde.
Yeah.
Starring Caitlin Dever and Beanie Feldstein and a slew of unknown high school age range actors that are really good.
Right.
Except that one guy. We know that one guy's name. What's his name? Hold on. I don't want to.
We know that one guy's name. Let me look it up real quick.
Yeah. Skylar Gisondo.
Right.
Gisondo. Yeah. And Billy Lord, too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. And Billy Lord, too. 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 Yeah. And Billy Carrie Fisher's daughter.
Mm-hmm.
They're like the weird duo.
Right.
Anyway, Booksmart. When we first saw Booksmart, I think we were both like, "Whoa, way better than we thought."
Really good.
Booksmart is the only movie that came out in 2019 that I watched multiple times in 2019. I've seen it 3 times.
Oh.
Actually, that's not true. I think I saw Endgame multiple times too. But outside of the movie theater, I like went and sought out Booksmart multiple times.
Which is a lot, especially for like super recent movies.
Yeah.
Like it takes a lot for me to go and like
Yeah.
I love Midsummer. I didn't go watch it. I thought about going to see it a couple times.
Mm-hmm.
If I had more time,
So
then
like
I probably would
a
have.
big event movie like Endgame, I'll go see it multiple times because it's fucking dope on the big screen, and you just want
Super
to
fun.
experience that.
But there's other movies that you just appreciate so much that
Yeah,
you
I
just have to go see it again.
So something that hit me when I first saw it and has stayed and has been a steady driving force to me feeling connected to this movie is Caitlin Dever's character Amy, and the way that I feel like I weirdly somehow, a 27-year-old white dude, relate to her character in this movie, and the like catharsis I feel when she goes through the end of her arc at the party, from the karaoke scene to the fight with Beanie Feldstein, through that whole thing, and then through the bathrooms, and I'm just like, like I'm just I love it so much.
Right.
This movie. This is like the type of movie that the type of movie for you is Midsummer.
Yeah.
This is the type of movie.
It's
for
much
me.
more like
this
your
this
alley.
is my lane.
Whereas
yeah.
like we both appreciate the other
Exactly.
movies, but like
Yeah.
they're not like completely.
Yeah. Shout out Olivia Wilde, directorial debut,
Mm.
feature debut.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure, killing it.
Mm-hmm.
Man. She was like, "Hey, husband, be a teacher in this movie," and Jason Sudeikis was like, "Of course, I'll do that.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be a weird teacher who Ubers." He's fun. Don't forget Lisa. There's some I love. I think I said this when we did the episode on it, but I love when movies have really good comedy pairings as parents. Will Forte and Lisa Kudrow.
Oh God,
So good.
that scene is so fucking
when
good.
when they think that they're in love with that they're like girlfriends,
Mm-hmm.
and they're like so supportive of it, and Caitlin Dever's like, "This is not what's happening. Stop this." It's so funny. Oh, I love this movie. What's the guy's name? The guy that Beanie Feldstein's character, Mason Gooding is the actor's name. His name is Nick in the movie. That dude that plays like the jock guy, the dumb guy that's actually smart.
Oh yeah.
The guy that says you'd be a Hufflepuff or whatever.
Right.
That guy's really good.
Mm-hmm.
Very like there's so many just like good teen they're not actual teens, but you know what I mean. Like teen performances.
Mm-hmm.
Very good. I love this movie so much. That's my number one.
That's your number one.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go through our honorable mentions.
Okay.
A few of mine you've already stated. Jojo Rabbit.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking loved, but I couldn't include it in my top 5. It's one of those.
I
who knows what's
jumped
gonna happen
through
in
hoops
5
to
years?
I jumped through hoops to make sure it was there.
Who knows what's gonna happen with my top? Like, aside from Midsummer, I feel like everything, maybe Peanut Butter Falcon.
Yeah.
everything could be like replaced with
Could
other
change.
things. You know, like it's such a tight race as far as including things like Jojo Rabbit or something like Knives Out. I'm surprised. Knives Out, fucking amazing movie.
Yeah.
Fucking Ryan Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
That
That was one that I struggled with my top 10.
Um,
Whether or not to include it.
Nah, we left off a lot of TV shows.
Yeah.
um,
I didn't include
surprisingly enough.
I didn't include a single TV show, and I'm shocked because
Yeah.
I watch a lot of TV.
You watch a lot of TV, so we should probably give a shout out. So something
I'll
that I
tell
know
you
that
I'll tell you my movie ones. Marriage
Okay.
Story
Mhm.
is probably the biggest.
Loved it. I
Marriage
fucking
Story
loved
is
it. Watched it
fantastic,
recently,
and Adam
loved it.
Driver and Scarlett Johansson are killer.
Mhm.
And what a breakthrough for you to enjoy a Noah Baumbach movie.
I still have the same problems.
Oh, yeah?
a lot of the same problems with Noah Baumbach, but it's so
It's
personal.
so emotional and personal.
It's so
dude.
personal. I still loved it,
Yeah.
but it's almost like Noah Baumbach has this thing where like the dialogue drives the movie for all of his movies, and it's not like he has the dialogue of like Sorkin.
Oh
You know
no,
what I mean?
he's not the greatest dialogue writer potentially ever.
I'm just
In
saying,
your opinion.
in my
Like,
opinion,
yeah.
in my opinion,
Anyway, you know Aaron Sorkin's making a show?
he is.
Yeah, dude.
With
He's
what?
directing
He's.
it.
I mean, he's made a few shows.
Or he's
directing.
He's
a show?
directing a. Oh, now I'm gonna butcher. Whatever. Aaron Sorkin's got a thing coming out this year.
Mm-hmm.
So does your boy.
Alex Garland.
That
My
comes
man.
out soon.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
I'm
It's gonna be a
excited for
good year for Christopher Stott.
Oh yes, it is. Oh, yes, it is.
Yeah, Marriage Story. I would include Knives Out. Controversial in a weird way. Frozen 2 is going to be an honorable mention for me. Didn't even get nominated for Best Animated Feature. I fucking loved it.
Did it get released too late?
No.
Is there, or,
No.
okay.
It just the people had problems with the plot. Plot's a little convoluted. I get that.
It
but
couldn't have pushed fucking Missing Link out of there, dude. Delightful film.
I never saw it. That's the
I
Hugh
liked
Jackman
it.
with Hugh Jackman, right?
Hugh Jackman,
Zach
Zach Galifianakis
Galifianakis
playing Bigfoot.
Yeah. I never saw it. That's
solid.
that weird animation where I see that and I'm just like, eh.
But it's the same people that made Kubo and the Two Strings.
I know,
too.
and I love Kubo. It's
Yeah.
weird. I'll see it eventually.
Yeah.
Anyway, Frozen 2. I really loved it. It's a fucking gorgeous movie.
Mm-hmm.
It looks incredible, and the songs. Here's the thing: the songs aren't as catchy as the first movie, but I think a lot of them are better. I think that's the thing that's tricking people. Anyway, Frozen 2 would be in my honorable mentions.
I love your little hill for Frozen 2. I enjoy that. I haven't seen
Listen, man,
Well,
I'm a
not a huge
softie.
fan of
I'm
Frozen
a softie. All right, I have a bunch of TV shows.
Okay, I'll go through mine first, and then
I'll tell you if
go
we match
for the
on
rest
any.
of your honorable
Yeah.
mentions. Obviously, you're gonna have Mandalorian on there.
Mandalorian was the one I struggled the hardest to not include in my
I
top
fucking
5.
really enjoyed Mandalorian. I think the
Mandalorian-
reason that I didn't include it was because there are episodes of Mandalorian that are just like
There's a couple that are like, we didn't need this.
Yeah.
Like, you're not advancing the story.
but it's still fun.
It's still fun. It's
You
still
know-
good. But it's like, I don't know if bottle episode is the right word.
bottle episode's not. The right
But it feels. It's like filler. It feels like a filler episode in a 50 episode animated show or 25 episode animated show.
Right.
More than 1/8 of the entire show,
Yeah.
which is but the 6/8
Yes.
are killer.
So yeah, we both really enjoyed Mandalorian.
Also, Mandalorian, like, we didn't do an episode when Star Wars came out. I did not like the new Star Wars movie, like, very much at all. And Mandalorian, like, kept me, as I wear my Star Wars shirt, was like, Star Wars is still cool. Just keep watching Mandalorian. It's dope.
Yeah, I was much more fine with
Yeah.
the newest Star Wars movie than
I was so.
But I mean, I think it says a lot that it's not on either of our lists.
Oh, yeah.
the ninth movie.
Yeah.
You know, the last of
the
this
finale.
Yeah.
And, like, we both love Rey as a
Really?
character, really attached to that arc.
And you fucking love Kylo, like.
Dude, get it. Stop. Don't do it to me.
We should probably do one in retrospect.
Yeah, we should.
So we can
I
talk
would
about
honestly, I would want to watch it one more time probably before we did it.
Before we
but
did it,
yes,
I would agree with
we
that.
can. I won't go full. I wouldn't go Batman vs Superman on it,
Right.
but I didn't.
True.
I didn't love it.
I think it would be a good episode. So The Witcher.
Yep, Witcher.
Mm-hmm.
Witcher's dope.
Yeah, it was something.
Toss
that,
a coin to your Witcher, oh Valley of Plenty. That song fucking slaps.
Yeah, it does. It does. Witcher was something that, like, I love it when I can find TV shows where I'm just like, I can't wait to watch the next episode.
Yeah.
And it was something like, I think I watched a couple episodes and I had to go to sleep or I had school and I was like, fuck, it annoys me.
You did the same thing with Mandalorian because you were like behind, and when you were catching
Yeah.
up, you were like, I just want to catch up.
Yeah, I just want to fucking watch
Yeah.
the rest of this. And I don't know.
Shout out to Henry Cavill, dude, killing it. Have you played the video game or seen
Nope.
the video game at all?
I've seen you play.
So
it
here's the weird thing, like
sparingly.
the show is based on the books, which the video game is also based on, but the show is not based on the video game. But Henry Cavill is basically doing an impression of the voice actor from the video game, and it's really good. Yeah. Did you have an issue with the nonlinear story, the way they did it?
No.
I liked it.
But I also knew it going into it, so I can understand, like, if people are watching.
That's right.
it for
I
the
did
first
warn you,
time.
didn't I?
Well, you did, as well as my brother. My brother
Okay.
told me about how it was. Yeah, I didn't really have any problems.
Yeah, me neither.
with
I thought it was cool. Especially, like, I think it clicked in, like, the 4th episode, and I was like, oh, that's what's happening.
Right.
It makes sense. I get it.
Mhm.
All right, what's your next show? See if it's on here.
Oh, okay. Surprising that we haven't really. So you brought it up fleetingly.
Yeah.
Stranger Things season 3.
Yep.
Neither one of us brought that up.
It's
As
on
in
my
our top five.
it's on my TV list.
It's not that it's like. It's weird because like I've heard of a lot of people be like season 3 is better than season 1, and I don't disagree with that.
It's they're close.
But like the thing is like for that year, season 1 of Stranger
so
Things,
big, dude.
Season 1 of Stranger Things would have been in my top 5.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I feel like season 1 of Stranger
It's
Things
weird
has a bit
how
more of a
season 3
sentimentality to it than season 3 has for some reason.
Right.
I don't know why.
Right. Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe it's the scale. Maybe there's just a bigger scale every season, so it feels.
really enjoyed season 3.
Yeah, me too. I loved
really
it.
enjoyed it. And it's weird that like but I'm still very flippant and
Yo.
being like, oh, it doesn't have to be in my
Hopper's
top
not dead. Confirmed. They were like, "Fuck it, we're not even gonna deal with it."
5. Yeah, that's
Which
barely
I'm cool
a
with that.
spoiler.
I'm
Like,
cool with
not
that.
even.
We all knew it.
I don't have any more TV shows.
All right, I'm gonna give you the ones that are on my list that you didn't say. You haven't seen this one, I don't think. Succession. I think you'd really like Succession if you watched
Really?
it.
HBO show?
Succession on HBO is so fucking funny, but like from marketing and from pitch, you wouldn't think that. You know what I mean?
Okay.
It's a show loosely based on a family whose name that I can't remember, but they ran Fox News, I think.
Okay.
And it's based on that kind of idea of a very powerful family that runs a news corporation and the fucked up shit they get up to and their horrible relationships with each other. It's very good. Sex Education. That's my number 2. Or this is the order they came out last year, I think. Sex Education, which season 2 just came out, starring Asia Butterfield, Netflix show about a kid, Asia Butterfield, who goes to high school, is the son of a sex therapist, and he uses the information he knows from his mother to do sex therapy at school. And it is ridiculous and very funny and super heartfelt. Mm-hmm. And there's a girl who I'm going to look up so I get her name right because she deserves it. Her name is, excuse me, Emma Mackey. She looks like a young Margot Robbie, kind of. She is very good in the show. His Dark Materials. It's my 3rd. I liked this show so much that I read the book series, and I read all 3 books, so that should say enough. Barry. Watch Barry, dude. God, it's so good. Mm-hmm. Bill Hader's 30-minute HBO comedy where he plays a former military man turned reluctant assassin turned aspiring actor. God, it's so good, dude. Oh, 5. There's a lot of HBO shows. Watchmen. One and done. They're not making any more seasons.
Really?
Damon Lindelof was like, nope, that's my story. I told it. Fucking great.
Okay.
Fucking great. Yahya Abdul-Mateen. That's my personal standout. I think he's great in it.
Fucking side note, did you see the trailer for Candyman that's coming
I have not watched the trailer yet, no, but Yahya is in that.
I'm not sure how familiar
he's
you
blowing
are.
up a little bit.
Yeah. I'm not sure how familiar
I know
you
it's
are
one of
with-
those things where you say the name 3 times and Candyman shows up. It's like one of those
Looks
things,
fun.
like Bloody Mary or whatever.
Looks fun.
Is it a remake or is it like a continuation?
I'm not sure about that,
Okay.
to be honest. But like, it seems really interesting. Like Yahya plays like an artist.
Oh.
And there's a lot of like interesting cinematography and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But
Produced by Jordan Peele, not...
produced and, dude, this is probably the most important thing that should get you fucking hype. Written by Jordan Peele.
Oh, he wrote it. Okay, cool. Because I knew he wasn't directing it. So
Yeah.
I was like... I don't like when they stamp a producer in the trailer. And
No.
they're like, from the person who brought you Get Out and Us.
Here's the thing. I saw the trailer, right, and it was like produced by Jordan Peele, and I was like, okay,
It's whatever,
fine.
yeah.
That's fine. But then, like, I went on IMDb and it said written by Jordan
Okay.
Peele. And I was like, motherfucker, put that in the trailer.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
The other thing I'll say about Watchmen, I think it's episode 4, maybe. One of the best episodes of a TV show I've ever seen.
Really?
Ever in my life. It's fucking fantastic. I've got Stranger Things. The Dragon Prince. Killer animated series on Netflix. Season 3 was dope as hell. Check that show out. The Boys, the Amazon show that was marketed, in my opinion, horribly. That was the one where when you saw the trailer, you're like, oh, they made a raunchy superhero show.
Right.
That's not what that show is. That show is like a political discourse on the dangers of organized religion and capitalism. It's super fucking interesting.
Right.
Mandalorian. And then when I made this list, I struggled super hard whether to put Witcher or this entry, and I put this entry, and it's because I cheated. I made a 3-piece combo of the NBC comedies, The Good Place, Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and Superstore,
Okay.
which I really love. The Good Place just ended. it's like a GOAT tier 4-season run of network comedy television. It's so amazing. Brooklyn Nine-Nine is one of my favorite shows. They're just, and then Superstore's like in that run of shows. It's, remember when we were young, in like high school and NBC had Thursday nights where they had 30 Rock, Community, The Office, and Parks and Rec on one night? This almost reaches that tier of like these three shows being on back to back to back.
It's tough to challenge that.
Yeah. That's like an all-time run of those four, but that's all my, there's probably more, but.
You want to go back through our top five?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
so my number five
yours.
was a combination of the short film Hair Love, as well as throwing in Mixed-ish in that conversation. My number 4 was True Detective Season 3. My number 3, Ford versus Ferrari.
Ferrari?
I say it every single time, and I don't know why. Number 2, Peanut Butter Falcon. Number 1, my absolute favorite thing from 2019, Midsummer.
All right, my number 5 was The Year of Brad Pitt, Ad Astra, and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, which I feel a little bad about that because that like undersells Leo's importance, but you know, whatever. That movie's dope. Number 4 was my bullshit. How did I frame it? What did I say? Wartime adjacent period pieces.
Yeah, good work.
Jojo Rabbit and Marriage Story, or Little Women, sorry. And then number 3 was The Shy Assance, Honey Boy and the Peanut Butter Falcon. Number 2 was The Year in the MCU, Spider-Man Far From Home and Avengers Endgame. 4 out of 5, I did combos. I'm such a cheater. Number 1, Booksmart.
Nice.
We did it. The 2019 year in review. I feel a little bad that neither of us have Parasite.
I mean, it won an Oscar. It's got plenty of.
I guess it
but
it was like a shocker that it won the Oscar.
You have to realize that
it won the Oscar because of the passion that people have for it, and that like caught flame at the right time.
But you have to realize that this is this podcast is sacred ground, right? Right. You have to earn it. You have to be on this show, you know? So we're not just going to throw around, you know, stuff like, oh, yeah, we loved Parasite.
Parasite, honorable mention.
No. You got to earn it, Parasite, to get on
I think I
show.
watched more foreign language films this year than I have ever.
Really?
I
So,
can
like
think
two.
of I can think of 2. Hey, growth is growth, man.
True.
I watched The Parasite. I watched Parasite and I watched The Farewell.
Nice.
Yep.
I didn't see Farewell.
It's a good
Yeah.
movie.
So, yeah, to quote Giannis Antetokounmpo, don't chase perfection, chase progress. That's
Hey,
what you're doing.
That's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I'm trying my best.
Maybe next year
I do plan on seeing. No, I couldn't. I mean, we live in LA. I probably could have seen it somewhere, but I was waiting for a wide release to see Portrait of a Lady on Fire, which is supposed to be a super dope movie, but it came out last year.
Right.
But I haven't seen it yet. So we're gonna do Onward next week. We're gonna talk about the upcoming Pixar animated feature starring Chris Pratt and that boy Tom Holland.
Right.
And Julia Louis-Dreyfus also. Shout out. Onward.
Yeah.
I'm excited,
We will
dude.
be marching on.
Word.
This
is a very, like, weird fantasy setting, modern fantasy setting, Pixar mash. I mean, sign me up.
Yeah.
Sign me up, baby. Come on. I'm very excited. I expect to cry. If I don't cry, I will say it's a bad movie.
All right.
That's my line for every Pixar film. If I don't cry, it's bad.
I don't know.
I don't actually mean that.
I mean, I don't think I cried at Good Dinosaur. I might have.
I haven't seen Good Dinosaur.
I might have. Underrated.
That's also
man.
one of those
It's
like.
slept on.
Well,
I
it
think-
came out the same year as another Pixar movie that I can't remember, but it was
Right.
was it Toy Story 3?
It might have been.
I think it was Toy Story 3.
Yeah. So it's just like,
Yeah.
and it had a lot of like production problems. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Like there was a lot of issues with the making of that movie.
Interesting. Anyway, hey, we hit an hour. Look at that.
We did.
Almost on point.
Mm-hmm.
We will be back next week with an episode on Onward. This has been cool to remember the past year. We're excited to be back. We don't have a poll idea. I just thought of that.
Yeah, we're
But
just getting back into it,
who
guys.
cares? Fuck it.
Throwing shit together.
If you want us to do an episode on something, like tweet us or something. I don't care. Let me see if I can remember this part. Find Chris ChrisMichaelStott.com. You can read his scripts there. Chris Michael Stott on Instagram. I am Davinwell25 on Twitter and Instagram.
Yeah, just a side note, I might be posting one of my latest shorts
Ooh.
that I wrote. I wrote it for a class.
Yeah.
So it was like a 10-page script, coming of age, like short film.
For those who aren't listening, I just leaned in really far on the table.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I think that it's like
How
probably
come you
one
haven't
of
showed it to me, man?
the,
I could tell the people right now whether or not they should read it, but I can't give you my
Sorry.
seal of approval.
Sorry.
Right.
But yeah, that will probably. I'm gonna try and post it on my website
Dope.
within this coming week.
Give me a title.
Play Havoc is what it's called.
Play Havoc.
Yeah.
Cool. Find the show TCAX Pod on Twitter, I think, and then it's just TCAX, the Chris and Kyle Show on Facebook, on Instagram, on the YouTubes, on all the Spotify's and Apple podcasts and stuff like that. Do reviews and rates and
The likes.
those things are supposed
The
to
ups,
help.
the downs.
Those things are supposed to help with these things,
Mm-hmm.
podcasts and the like. You know what I mean?
Right.
So whatever. Cool. We back and we out.
We out. Stay weird.